Hello, beautiful ones, and welcome to Sacred Drum Making. I'm so honored to share this with you, how to bring this beautiful being to life, and I'm so honored to have been the one to be able to create your drum kit for you and send it to you. So today's the day we're going to put it together and wake up that beautiful being that's just waiting for you. So in your drum kit, you received a hoop of some kind. This is a 16-inch round, but yours could have been something else, whatever it was that you ordered, egg, oval, round, hexagonal. So this one, today we're going to create a 16-inch round, but the technique is the same for all of them, no matter which hoop that you have. So follow along with your hoop. So you have your hoop. And with your hoop, before you pull your drum together, if you wanted to write anything on the inner sacred circle, now's the time to do it before we start to lay out all of our supplies to create the drum and bring it to life. Some things that other people have done and that I have done is to paint the hoop before you put it into a drum. You can inscribe things on the inside. In my ancestral grandmother's drum, what's inscribed inside is the names of all my ancestral grandmothers, or 11 generations of them in Viking runes, and that was wood burned. So that's another technique for doing your hoop. The one that we're going to be working together with today is this one. This is, we'll have a mandala on the mesa, painted on the mesa, and what is inside is written in Tibetan, and it is Om Mani Padme Um, which is the most well-loved and recited mantra of Tibetan Buddhism. And so this will be that kind of a theme. So this is the hoop we're going to be working with today. So the hoop is completed. It's done, completely painted. It's got everything in there that I need and I want. And so today we will stretch the buffalo skin over the frame, and you'll follow along with yours. Okay, the other supplies that you have in your kit is your skin that's ready to go. And you need to have soaked it overnight in water. Into this water, I add blessing herbs, tobacco, essential oils, sacred waters from around the world. Anything to bless and adore the being, this beautiful, the spirit of this animal, this buffalo, who, while it was reclaimed from the meat industry, it is so happy to be given new life. Believe me, these spirits are so thrilled to be given new life through these sacred drums. So you will have needed to have soaked your skin, as well as your lacings. You have lacings that we'll be using today, and those are either buffalo or elk, depending on what you received in your kit. These two beautiful wild beings are very, very excited to be put into your drum. So those will have been soaked overnight in water, sacred waters, saged with smudge, however you ceremonially bless your items. The other thing that you received in your kit was a mallet. Could look like this or something else. Here's another one. They look different depending on what I create in the moment and what comes through. So you'll have your mallet, that's ready to go. And also some instructions from me and your layout for how we're going to lace this. And we'll walk through this today together on how you're going to lace it. Now, things that you will need to have gathered is some water. You needed some spray water today. I add essential oils that are important and sacred to me to that water. You need something to be cutting your leather thong with. That can be a box knife like this, or leather shears. And you'll need some strips of cloth that are, I just use old sheets and I tear them up, and they're 4 inches or 10 centimeters wide, and they're 8 feet long or 244 centimeters. And I use 2 of them That's how I do it, and I'll show you how that's done today. Okay, you also need some towels. I have 2 here ready to go. This is a birthing process, and so we have to have towels to do our birthing. So if you have all of your supplies and your skins and your thong has been soaked overnight and it's ready to go, everything is blessed, then I invite you to call in your guardians, your guides, your ancestors, open your space ceremonially, and we will begin the birthing process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take your hide out of the birth waters. This is the one we'll be working with today. And I want you to notice one side is rougher than the other. One side is quite smooth and the other side is quite rough. And it'll sometimes have little nubs and knobbies on it. So I want you to put the smooth side down on your towels. You'll have your towels set on the table or the floor, surface you're working on. And so set the smooth side down, leaving the rough side up. And point the flap so that you have one facing directly north, straight ahead, and one pointing directly toward you. That way you'll notice in the diagram that I sent you, the one that's pointing away from you is number 1, and the one that's pointing directly to you is number 2. And that's how we'll start our lacing. Gather your lacing out of the birth waters and take the one end of your lacing, and I want you to cut a nice smooth point on it. That'll be the part that you'll be putting through the holes as you go. So it'll be much, much easier to get it through the hole if it has a nice point on it, now that it's soft from your birth waters. Starting with hole number 1, which is the one furthest away from where you're sitting at the top of your diagram, you're going to take your lacing and put it into the hole on the rough side. So you're going down through the rough side, pulling it through out the other side, and then pulling sideways out through hole number 1, because if you pull it straight up, there's a chance you could tear your skin. Pull through and measure 4 lengths of the diameter of your drum. Now pull your flap up, and we're going to make a slip knot right here. So pull that over like this, and then reach underneath with your fingers and pull that through to make a slip knot, and pull it right down to your flap. You tighten it up nice and tight. And then you can take the rest of this and just set it aside over here. Then that should hold pretty tightly. Make sure your hoop is good in center. And you can check by picking up your flaps like this and making sure they're all just about the same. Okay. Now you want to find the other end of your lacing, and we're going to start to work around the wheel. Then taking that end of your lacing, go down through hole number 2 through the rough side, and then pulling it sideways, pull all of the lacing out through hole number 2. So now that we've gotten the lacing through hole number 1, we've made the slip knot, and then we've gotten the other end of the lacing through hole number 2, we're ready to go all the way around the circle through 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on until we get to the end. As you go along and you feel the leather start to dry out, use your water bottle and spray it to keep it nice and workable, easily pliable. All right. So here we go. You ready to go around the wheel? Now we go down into hole number 3. Pull your lacing sideways. Now we're going to go across to hole number 4. Down, through the rough side, out the smooth side, pulling sideways. Make sure your hoop is still centered. Spray it with a little bit of water. Keep it nice and pliable. Now we go on to number 5. And number 6. Down through the hole and out the side. Stop every once in a while and check and make sure that your hoop is staying centered. This is very important. They have a tendency to move as we pull on the thong. get all of the spirals out of this right now. It'll make it easier to continue on. Okay, last two. Here we are. Looking pretty good. It's probably your last chance to move that hoop around and get it perfectly centered. So make sure it's just what you want. And it'll continue to move as we tighten up the drum when we go along. All right, into the last one here. Okay, we've got it all laced up, so the next step is to spray it with some water, and then we're gonna go around the hoop and we're gonna tighten every thong. And after we've done that, we'll spray it again and we'll go around the hoop and tighten it one more time before we move on to making handles. Now we're going to start back at number 1 and we're going to tighten the entire drum. So we'll start with that lacing. We'll find it underneath and we'll pull up on the other side as tight as you can. And then we'll go over to number 2. And pull. Then on to number 3 or 4. And follow that over to number 5. And to number 6. Over to number 7. To number 8. And then to number 9. Starting from 1, we're going to tighten it again. Straight over to 2. Good job. Now you know why they call it birthing. This is hard work. Okay, let's go on to the handle. Now we're going to take what's left. This is 16 and that's 1. We're going to take what's left and we're going to run it underneath. And we're going to pull it up between 2 and 15. Right here. Center this up here. We're going to go back down between 16 and 1. between 16 and 1. And then back over between 2 and 15. Here. So you've got 1, 2, and we're sitting between 2 and 15. Now we're going to wrap your lacing over 15, 13, 11, and 9. These 4 right here. We're going to take your lacing, keep it nice and tight, and we're going to go over the top of these 4 and down through. Keep your lacing tight. A little awkward because you're hanging on to all this mass. Then back under and up between 2 and 15. Pull it nice and tight. And then again, down and under and up between 2 and 15. And wrap that around those 4 strands several times to make your first handle. You want this to go to about 2.5 inches, 6 to 7 centimeters. And each time you wrap this, wrap it more toward the outside edge of the drum frame so that you're not covering a part that you've already wrapped. Now you're going down between 13 and 11. Go down in between the 2. And then come up between 9 and 7. Come up. Then over 9 and 11. Over. Down between 11 and 13. Under, and then back up to make the infinity. And then start wrapping inward toward the center over the wrapping that you just did. And then just a couple of times you're going to go around. Yay! We have the first handle done, so keep that tension nice and tight. Hold on. And we're going to start working on the second one. Here we go. And start wrapping over and around the strands that are numbered 16 through 10, just as you did on the other side of the drum. So now we're going to go down in the middle between 16 and 14, next to, and then up and over 16 and 14. Down in the middle again. Just like you did before, do the infinity wrap. And then make those last two wraps inside very loosely, and then put that end of the lacing back inside these last two underneath the handle, like this. Now pull that lacing super tight so that it's in and around the back side so that you don't see it. Okay, we've completed handle 1 and 2. Now we're going to complete 3 and 4. We're going to go back up to number 1, and you've got your slip knot here, and you're going to pull your slip knot out. Just pull it like that, okay? Now we want to make that nice and tight and pull. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole mass of lacing, and just like before with handles 1 and 2, we're going to go underneath the center, pull it out between 2 and 15, right here. And then we're going to go over these 4 right here and make a handle just like you did before. And then to finish it again, you go over 2, under the others, make the infinity, pull it nice and tight. Then you're going to go back over the handle a couple of times. Over. You're going to make an X in the middle. And then you have your last one to do here. Your final handle. You've got 3 now. We do the final handle exactly the same way as you've done the others. And then to finish, go through the middle, down, make the infinity, go through the middle, down. This time we want to leave it loose underneath. And then last of all, carefully cut your thumb. And tuck it under. So we have it done. There it is. Your drum is birthed and it's all together, but we're not finished quite yet. There's one more step before we let it rest for 24 to 48 hours. And what we're gonna do is this. I want you to take your fabric strips and pull them out. Find the center and lay the center in your lap. And then lay your drum on top. And then pull your strips up the side, nice and tight. You're trying to push all of these down. Some of these will be buckling and you're gonna push them down with these fabric strips. Pulling it up nice and tight all the way around and then tie it. As tightly as you can. Put it in a knot. Now, take the other strip, find the center, lay it in your lap. And you're going to turn this upside down so that the knot side goes down. And you're going to do the same thing. Pull this one up and around, nice and tight. And then the other side. As tightly as you can, make a nice knot. Okay, there you go. And then you want to go around the edges and smooth them with your fingers. All the way around. So any pieces that are sticking out will want to lay down nice and tightly. And as it dries, they'll continue to tighten up. And as it dries, it'll take another day or two. Just do this every once in a while, just to encourage it to lay down nice and flat. That's it. Isn't it beautiful? And then in a day or two, you'll be able to take these off. When this is super dry and very, very tight, you'll be able to take off your fabric strips and you'll be able to awaken your drum and play it for the first time. I highly encourage you to not play it, let it rest now. It's worked very hard. Now that it's in form and it's in its new sacred form, It needs a rest for a day or two. So you want to leave it in, about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Not too hot, not too cold. You don't put heat on it. Just let it rest as it is for 24 to 48 hours until it's completely dry. And you'll know when it's completely dry. And what's fun is to watch the face change color. You'll see all kinds of things change in the face, in the mesa of your drum. Okay. In 24 to 48 hours, you can take off the outer wrappings and your drum is ready to play. Congratulations.
Lo le